What really happened with Snow White? And is there somebody that we can blame?
What really happened with Snow White? And more importantly, who's to blame? Something's rotting in the Magic Kingdom, and it's not just the poison apple. This was supposed to be Disney's next billion-dollar crown jewel. Instead, it became a disaster so big, even the dwarves wouldn't touch it. Now, behind the scenes, the two stars who were meant to lead this feminist fairy tale reboot, Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler, are caught in a silent war that's gone from awkward to outright savage. And trust us, this is not your average, creative differences, fluff piece. This is full-blown Hollywood beef. Gal Gadot, once the golden girl of Wonder Woman fame, has officially had enough. After pouring months into the role of the evil queen, learning choreography, memorizing lines, doing press, the movie flopped harder than anyone imagined. $250 million spent. A worldwide box office return of only $87 million. That's not just a flop, that's a historic disaster. It didn't even beat Dumbo. Let that sink in. And according to insiders, Gal blames one person, Rachel Zegler. From day one, the vibe on set was icy. Rachel, just 23, is known for being outspoken, unapologetic, and fiercely Gen Z. Gal? She's a seasoned pro, polished, diplomatic, a mom of four who knows how to play the game.
Snow White bombs, breaks records for the lowest live-action remake opening ever.
Their personalities clashed like oil and fire, and then the interviews started. First, Rachel torched the 1937 Snow White. Literally. Called it weird. Outdated. Said the prince was a stalker. She laughed while dragging one of Disney's most beloved classics through the mud. Then she doubled down. Said her Snow White wouldn't be saved by a prince.
The script was
Wait a
screwed
minute,
from
how
the
much
start.
did this cost? They should get Doge looking at this.
That this remake was all about becoming a fearless leader. And yeah, empowerment is great. But to Disney fans who grew up twirling in princess dresses singing, "Someday my prince will come," it felt like betrayal. Gal. She was stunned. Sources say she couldn't believe what Rachel was saying, especially while promoting a film they were supposed to honor. Meanwhile, Gal was doing everything right. In the same interview, she spoke about loving the character, loving the story, embracing the legacy. But the damage was done. Rachel Zegler's takes weren't empowering anymore, they were divisive. And the internet was not kind. Old clips resurfaced. Rachel admitting she never liked the original Snow White, never watched it again after childhood. Then came the critiques of the entire Disney princess lineup. It was like she was sabotaging the very movie she was starring in. And Gal just stood by, watching it all unravel, quietly distancing herself every step of the way. Then came the Oscars. Gal and Rachel, side by side, reading a teleprompter like strangers forced to share an Uber.
Love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
No eye contact. No smiles. No banter. It was awkward. And it didn't go unnoticed. Fans immediately clocked the tension. It was ice cold. And then came the Instagram comment. Allegedly, Rachel referred to Gal as a professional pageant queen. In Hollywood, that's not a compliment. That's code for all looks, no substance. Gal was furious. And that was it. The feud went from quiet frost to full-blown shade. But this drama wasn't just personal. It turned political. Right in the middle of the press tour, Rachel tweeted her support in a major Middle East conflict, a highly charged, polarizing stance that drew fire instantly. Disney executives freaked. One producer reportedly flew to New York for a one-on-one intervention, begged her to delete it. Rachel said no. The fallout? Immediate. Rachel's tweet triggered real-world threats. Not just against her, but against Gal Gadot too, who happens to support the opposing side. The studio was panicking. They hired security for Gal. Her family was being protected. Meanwhile, Rachel? Nothing. Fans started asking, why was Disney protecting one star and leaving the other to fend for herself? Rachel said the threats were horrifying. People literally showing up to her building, screaming slurs. She begged people to stop. But the silence from Disney? Deafening. From that moment, the studio pivoted. Fast. Rachel's media presence was scaled back. The UK premiere, quietly cancelled. Press tours, divided. Gal did Disneyland. Rachel did remote performances in Spain. No more joint interviews. No more shared promo. The damage control was global. But even that wasn't enough. Because suddenly, the spotlight turned on Gal too. Critics began roasting her performance. One Redditor said, "Gal's acting isn't something you watch. It's something you survive." Others asked how she even landed the role of Wonder Woman. Her Snow White performance? Called wooden, forgettable, flat. And if Rachel's outspokenness was Disney's PR nightmare, Gal's performance was their artistic one. The hits kept coming. When Gal received a Hollywood Walk of Fame star, critics questioned the timing. Was it earned? Or just a convenient distraction from the chaos surrounding Snow White? A press stunt to polish a crumbling brand? Now here's the question. Where do they go from here? Gal is staying silent, her public image more calculated than ever. Rachel is still defiant, unfiltered, and unapologetically political. Both have millions of followers, but one's become a wild card and the other, a scapegoat. The Snow White remake was supposed to be a celebration of progress, girl power, and fresh storytelling. Instead, it became a battlefield, personal, political, and professional. The reviews were brutal. The performances, torn apart. The chemistry, non-existent. And now Disney is left picking up the pieces of a legacy remake that fell apart in real time. So who's really to blame? The loud-mouthed newcomer? The out-of-touch veteran? Or maybe, just maybe, the studio that tried to force a fairy tale with no happy ending? This story's not over. More interviews will drop. More shade will fly. But one thing is certain. Snow White wasn't just a movie. It was a mirror. And what it reflected wasn't magic. It was mayhem.